Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Sherri.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
We are lucky to have Chandler not only camera switching, but being involved in the pod this week.
Absolutely.
And forewarning to everyone, this is going to be a two-parter. And if you want to hear the second part immediately, you can go subscribe on Patreon because I'm going to put the first one out and the second one is available on Patreon right away.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's Patreon/grits. And we have a new Patreon member this week, Crystal S. Thank you so much for your support of the show.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yes. Okay, anything new?
No, just chugging along. Same old, same old.
All right, I'm drinking Swear Jar.
Awesome.
Chandler, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Moscow Mule.
Nice. Sherri?
Tito's soda and lime. My
Nice.
old standby.
Better than Tito's and Tito's. Tito's and vodka, I mean. Okay, and apparently I was bad because I got a bag of coal for Christmas from David. And it's
the chocolate ones.
It says, being naughty never tasted so nice. Double crisp coal. It says...
I think that's like a Nestle Crunch.
Peanut butter, almonds. So I'm sure that's in chocolate. I can't wait to eat this. I was just going to let it be a decoration, but it sounds yummy. Okay. Like I said, we're going to have a two-parter today. So buckle up or just sit back and relax if you're at home.
Are they going to release separately or are they going to?
So I just said they're going to release separately, but if you're a Patreon member, you'll get
both
at the same time.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this is a big case.
All right. We're ready when you are.
Okay. So this came across my radar back in January of 2020.
Wow.
So just ahead of COVID, I see a headline about a woman is being court ordered to present her children to authorities. And she's in Hawaii.
All right.
At first, I thought that this was one of those government overreach things where,
mind your business.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam.
Hawaii is very over-controlled.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Horrible. Like there's a rule for everything.
So they're coming to take her kids.
Yeah. And so I read the article, though, instead of just kind of like the headlines and the little brief synopsis at the beginning. And it says that her two children, Tylee Ryan, age 17, and JJ Vallow, age 7, were missing. JJ's grandparents had not been able to make contact with him in months. His father, Charles, was shot in July.
Wow.
And now Lori is living in Hawaii with her new husband, Chad Daybell. And they had married in November, just 2 weeks after his wife.
I think this is ringing a bell for me.
29 years dies in her sleep.
Wow.
So this is going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is the first glimpse we had in the situation. And it's still wrapping up the legalities.
Okay.
There hadn't been a month since then where they haven't been in the headlines. But we're going to kind of look back at what
they've been in. What year was it that you said
2020, the opening of 2020.
So every month since then, and we are just starting 2025, they've had something in the news.
There has been some court motion.
Okay.
There has been some new evidence discovered. There is somebody coming forward for or against them.
If y'all hear things, it's not a ghost. We have man work going on around here. So just ignore that. All right. So hit us with this.
Okay. So we didn't just get here in a moment. Like most of the people in her life, Lori at this point, Daybell, they were like, she was wonderful. She was perfect. She was the best mom. She was this, that, and the other, the best wife. And then everything changed in 2018. Well, I've done the research, and I'm here to tell you that was a lie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'm thinking things first started going haywire for Lori in her teen years.
Wow.
She was born in June.
That's way more than
Yes, it didn't wait till she was in her mid-40s.
Gotcha.
To go wonky. So she was born in June of 73. So we're all of an age. To a Mormon-ish, and I say that because they didn't seem to be real firm practitioners, family with 5 kids in California. Mom and dad would just take off to Hawaii and leave the kids home.
Wow.
And they would give Alex, the oldest brother, checks and leave him in charge. Of course, him being a teenager, he wasn't spending that money on food and
He's
stuff
going
like
to buy Legos.
Good one, Chandler. Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, the dad, Barry, is a local kind of low-level politician, insurance agent.
So Barry's married to Lori.
No, Barry's the dad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Lori's father.
Oh, her father. Okay, got it.
Okay, her mom is this super flashy stay-at-home mom, nails, hair, skin, tight leopard print. Lori's and her name's Janice.
She sounds like the lady from, I don't want to derail us too far, but Married with Children, Peggy.
I would say that's very close.
Big hair.
And did you see something about Mary, the old woman that lived near them with all the cosmetic surgeries and fake tan? That's who she is now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So Janice decided that Lori needed a complete physical and social makeover as Lori's entering her teen years.
Mm-hmm.
So she puts her on a diet, made her start playing softball. Janice coached the team and would ridicule Lori for eating anything fattening right in front of the teammates.
Oh my gosh.
So eventually Lori gets thin enough and joins the cheer squad. She's the flyer.
Mm.
And I don't know, I'm not really much of a cheer
must have
person.
Been petite.
Yeah, you have to be the teeny tiniest one to be the flyer.
Right.
Mom keeps Lori in the best clothes and the best of everything else. The nicest car, nails, hair, takes her on trips to Hawaii.
Wow.
I mean, they're pretty wealthy. But she also leaves her at home sometimes with Alex in charge.
So is it just the
No, there's 5.
Okay. Did she have other sisters, do we know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm wondering,
she's got 2 other sisters.
Did the mom dote on them like this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And maybe Summer, because she had sisters. She had Alex, Adam were the brothers. Summer, Stacy, and Lori were the sisters.
Okay.
And so I don't think she doted on the girls, on the other 2 girls as much. Maybe Summer.
Gotcha.
Okay. But, the kids get left at home with Alex.
Here's some blank checks with our signature on them. Go buy some Legos.
At some point during her high school years, Alex tries to talk her into sleeping with him. Talk Lori into sleeping with him.
No.
Obviously, this upsets Lori. She talks to her friends about it. She's wanting to know how to get out of this situation. And after she moves out, she barely has anything to do with Alex for years and years and years. Because, I mean, that's creepy AF.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your brother.
Mm-hmm.
I said, ew.
So Lori moves in with her high school boyfriend not too long after she graduates and marries. And this name may be wrong because this guy turned into a nothing
in the
whole story.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of information about him. And most of Lori's family can't even remember his name.
Wow.
Or so they said.
Okay.
So she marries Nisam Yanis in December of 1992. So she is 19 at this point.
She just wanted to get out.
Okay. And so now she's Lori Cox Yanis, and her family does not go to the wedding. They do not want her marrying this guy. And most of her family, like I said, at least acts like they don't remember his name. At some point during...
They really might not if they didn't want to go to the wedding.
At some point during the early part of the marriage, Lori files a restraining order against her family.
Oh, my God.
Because they are trying to get her to leave her husband. They're like, you're too young. Y'all don't have anything yet. You don't need to get married. So they back off, but Lori leaves them anyway.
Okay.
She just poof.
Okay.
Okay.
That didn't last long. Blip, blip. That's over.
So it looks like about 24 months later, she's already divorced him and married someone else. So just before her 22nd birthday, she marries William Lagiola and moves to Texas.
She's all over the place.
Mm-hmm. In 1996, Colby Ryan is born. In 98, she divorces William.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So here she is, 25 with 2 divorces.
And her little boy's name was Corey?
Colby.
Oh, Colby. I'm just making a note.
Mm-hmm.
So I can remember because you had to make a whole family tree and poster board for this.
Oh my God, it was.
We'll show it to y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lori's big sister, Stacy, has been diagnosed with diabetes and decides to move back home and live with her family.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy was married with a kid.
And just said, I have diabetes. Peace out, everybody. I'm going home.
Takes the kid with her.
Oh, okay. Well, at least.
So husband is kind of like, I used to come home to a family and now I'm... So anyhow, and there are variations.
You sure they weren't confusing diabetes with some type of mental health issue?
Well,
I mean, she sounds like...
She is cuckoo cuckoo.
Okay.
Okay. So there are variations on what happened after this. The Coxes, so Lori's family, says that Stacy developed a condition that kept her from eating or being able to digest food.
Wow.
Her husband says that she lost her freaking mind and became afraid of food and doctors. Their daughter was living at the Cox house and was getting real weird. Like at 3, she decided her name was Alex, just like her weirdo uncle.
3 years old?
And that she's a boy, not a girl.
Okay.
Okay, so he goes and snags her from there because also Stacy keeps coming up with new foods that she's not going to let her daughter Melanie eat.
Oh my gosh. So many eating disorders in this story.
Right. Okay, so he gets custody. Stacy dies in 1998 and she weighed only 75 pounds when she died. She had been hospitalized multiple times and been fed with a feeding tube. This last time, though, her organs failed.
That's so sad.
The Coxes say she died of a heart attack. Of course, everybody else says she starved herself to death. Okay.
Her mama probably had something to do with that.
Yeah, I imagine that if her mom was like that with Lori, she was like that with the older girls, too. She kind of, though, when I watch because there's a lot of content about this show, they keep showing family pictures that Stacy's not in whenever they're interviewing the rest of the family. It's like, oh, she's dead now.
Oh, wow.
Let's erase her. So
do you know about how old she was when she died?
31.
Okay. All right.
So
that's very young.
That is too young to die.
And, well, too young. I mean, too old to not have any family pictures.
Yeah. Okay. So now there is one son who really does, Adam, the other son, who is a nationally famous shock jock. I don't want to give his kind of screen
like a DJ,
name.
radio DJ. Okay.
I don't want to give his professional name
his
because
persona.
He needs to get as far away from this whole story as possible because he's actually a good guy.
All right.
Okay. So now she's Lori Cox Vallow. She's working as a hairdresser in Austin. And she's dragging Colby around all over the place. She can't keep a stable living situation, can't keep a stable job. But Colby is her little man and they're a team.
All right.
I hate it whenever I find one of those parents. Joe Ryan walks into the salon one day, and before long, this handsome, rich guy asks Lori to marry him. She says yes. In 2001, they get married.
I'm sorry.
So she's like 28.
I mean, you just made it sound like he's like, I'm in for a trim. And then he got some trim, and then they were married.
I think that she knew how to pick a ringer.
Well, obviously. I can't say, okay, I'm being too judgy and I don't know enough about her.
You ought to be judgy.
Okay.
She's a horrible human being.
Okay, let's go.
So they get married. She's like 28, husband number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. He adopts Colby.
Well, that's good.
Now Colby is Colby Ryan. And Lori is Lori Cox Vallow Ryan.
Jesus. One more last name.
Mm-hmm. She ain't done yet, though. In September of 2000.
Could you imagine like getting an engraved necklace with your initials on it or something?
Look,
It's like this wide on her neck.
And I've been married a few times.
Yeah, I have too.
And
Yeah.
whenever you go to do an internet search on me, you got to go name by name. My maiden name,
Yeah.
my name with my late husband, my name with the husband I divorced, and
Yeah.
my name with Poppy
Right.
to find me. And I'm like, this could have let her hide some of her crap.
True. Well, and when she started her life down this path, it information wasn't readily available like it is today, you know?
Yeah, but it's beginning to get
Yes, it is. It is.
Because here we are in 2002.
Yeah.
Okay, she has her daughter, Tylee Ryan.
Tylee?
Tylee.
Okay.
Tylee. I did tell you they were Mormon, huh?
Yes. Well, you said Mormonish.
Yeah. Well, Mormons tend to have so many kids that they do get interesting in the name.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I knew they had a lot of kids, but I didn't know there.
You
I mean,
could
there's
have,
plenty in the Bible.
I know. And then
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Abraham, Moses.
you'll go to, say, a play group of 5-year-olds. There's, hundreds of kids at that one temple that are in the 5-year-old group. And
Named Jebediah.
well, there's Jebediah and Jebeliah and they get a little creative.
Okay.
Okay.
Tylee.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Okay. So, where was I? Okay.
So she had her daughter.
She had her daughter. Now, Lori claims that she died while giving birth to Tylee and met with her sister Stacy and gave her a hug.
She didn't see Jesus or anybody?
Nope, she saw her dead sister.
Okay. Mom, I ain't mad at it. I'd like to see my sister too.
Yeah. And from this point forward, she claims to be in communication with spirits all over the place.
Okay. So she died for a second
Mm-hmm.
and then she's back.
Mm-hmm.
Communicating.
Gotcha. With random spirit people. Oh, let's remember, go back and say every one of these husbands, she makes them convert to Mormonism.
Okay.
Okay.
She must have had some good shit she was slinging
She
around.
was hot.
Okay.
She was really hot.
All right.
Okay. And so she and Joe are doing really well financially. Beautiful couple, beautiful kids, one boy, one girl.
Perfect all-American family.
Yeah. Joe was a foster kid and really wanted this family, but I don't get the sense that he really knew how to do it. And he disciplined physically, but not like, I'm not even sure spanking's wrong, but just smacking kids randomly for bad behavior. Like if they're chewing with their mouth open, don't smack their lips.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So he was he needed to be pulled back.
He was right on the edge all the time, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So Lori, what's his name again?
His name is Joe Ryan.
Okay, Lori, Joe, Colby, Tylee.
In this household. But Lori doesn't seem to mind that he's treating the kids like this. Other family members and other friends, because I've listened to a lot of content. I have heard interviews, I've read trial transcripts.
Chandler, how did you feel about getting smacked in the mouth when you were a kid?
Not good.
Yeah, I could say if you...
Your answer was supposed to be, I never got smacked in the mouth when I was a kid.
I was thinking that, but yeah, I don't ever remember.
Remember, ask your brother and sister. You never got spanked.
I didn't get spanked. So.
Yeah, that's okay. We learn to be creative with our discipline as we get older.
So everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Except
you're
for that one thing.
Him being a little edgy and inappropriate.
And then Lori doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah. Her family's kind of pissy about it.
Yeah, her family's like, what the heck, Lori?
Yeah.
Do something about this. And she's like, oh, well. And so her family decided they must have communicated that this was the discipline path.
Yeah.
For them. Okay. So this relationship becomes volatile because obviously Lori's involved. We've already seen that maybe her success rate in relationships isn't that great.
And he sounds like he maybe isn't as chill as he should be.
As he needs to be with somebody like her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2003, Lori says the spirits have told her she was going to win big on Wheel of Fortune.
Nice.
And she kind of does.
Dude, can you imagine?
Yeah, if you just wake up and somebody...
What?
She does. She wins 17 grand for a... with a puzzle on the Love Boat. You know, answering a puzzle that was about the Love Boat.
I'm sorry.
17 grand.
Hey, I need these spirits to come to me. That's
Yeah. But realistically, I think she knew how these game show trials work. They really don't care if you're smart. They care
you're charismatic and
or hot, and she was charismatic and hot.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And
I mean, she's had 17 husbands, so she had to get them some kind of way.
Okay, and in 2003, she also decides to start doing pageants. She's living in Texas now.
Like she's doing like Mrs. Texas pageants, or is she putting the girl child in pageants?
Herself. She's going to do the Mrs. Texas route. She wins the county level, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, pageants are huge in Texas.
The higher the hair, the closer to God.
She gets a boob job before the Mrs. Texas full pageant in 2004, and she doesn't quite win, but she makes it pretty far. And then I kind of had a question because, now granted, I'm talking pageants during the 80s. Pageants in the 80s, we had like these morality clauses we had to fill out. If you were doing anything that could besmirch the pageant, you couldn't do it. And I'm thinking,
they're going to take anybody if they're letting her being married as many times as she was.
And, I mean, remember they kicked Vanessa Williams out in 84?
Yes.
So I know that this is 2004, you know, it's 20 years difference, but dang, that's a lot of difference. Okay. So in 2005, her and Joe divorce, and this starts a legal battle that goes on for about 12 years.
No shit.
No shit. They're, you know, we're already seeing that she's not this sweet, perfect mom that everyone thought she was. And then even in the middle of this, they're still thinking she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Joe's like, oh, let me tell you, she's not.
And I get that hindsight is kind of 20/20. And when you look at somebody's life written out on paper, you're seeing it without all the distraction.
Yes.
But her life was so all over the place that I swear if you took a trip that was 2 weeks, you'd come back and there'd be a whole list of drama. There's no way that people couldn't have seen all the crap that just went around with her.
She was probably a master manipulator. She knew how to act right when she needed to act right.
Yes. Yes, very much so. Okay. And so I'm thinking that mom and dad were helping her with the legal fees.
Okay.
Because her job as a hairstylist couldn't have had her having the lawyers suck Joe dry the way they did.
Right.
Okay. So she starts out accusing Joe of hitting her. I would say that could track. He might have smacked her around some.
In the mouth because she was chewing too loud.
He seems to be a bit handsy. So that kind of fits. And maybe she was chewing too loud. Was that you or me?
It wasn't me. Sorry, y'all. We had a vibration.
Oh, I think somebody's at my house. Oh, I know who it is. I got some boots coming. Okay. And then that didn't really get her too far because no one ever saw her get hit or saw injuries. And this is a social butterfly. She is not like, I'll go home from here. And unless it's work or church, nobody's going to see me for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine on my property.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she says he was cheating on her.
Okay.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be, but I don't think so. And there was never a person. And I really think that she's trying to say that the spirits were telling her these things were happening.
Oh, my word.
And then she says she found tons of gay porn on his computer.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Then that he is actually very gay and he only married her to cover up for being gay.
Very gay, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Not just level 1 gay.
Not just level 1 gay.
DEFCON gay.
Like, doesn't want to see a vagina.
Like,
at
had
all.
a kid with her.
Had a kid with her. Been married to her for several years. Paid for her boob job. Put a salon in the house that he built for her so that she could still cut.
He's very gay.
He's very gay. Okay. Then, of course, cuckoo manipulating woman says, oh, and he raped our baby girl.
Oh, my. No.
Yes, she says this crap.
I hate her now.
Then,
Unless he did it, which I'm not thinking he did.
Yeah, especially not whenever you go through the string of accusations.
Yeah, right.
You know, she just kept having to build.
And she wasn't saying all of these together.
At the same time,
She
no.
Like 6 months, let's see if we can get something out of it now. Another 12 months go by, let's see about this.
Yeah.
That's the last card right there, raping the baby girl.
So then 2 days before Tylee is to be interviewed by social workers, Colby says, wait, me too. He raped me too.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, I told you that's her little man.
Yes.
Yeah. You take an 8-year-old, you can pretty much convince them of anything in a week.
I mean, that's grooming. She groomed him for that.
So Tylee would go to these sessions and get interviewed, and she would kind of start out saying the story like she was supposed to, and then it would fall apart. And then she'd say, but I don't think he did this.
Wow.
I don't think that he did what Mom said. Or when her mom would come and pick her up, she'd go, Mom, I told him just what you told me to say. I mean, so it was real obvious.
Dang.
That Tylee was not raped.
Okay, well, now I really hate her. She's a horrible, horrible woman.
And Tylee struggled from then on with, did my dad rape me or not? I remember none of it, but I've been told that this is what happened so much. So
that's awful.
Colby to this day still believes he was raped.
Oh, geez. She brainwashed him.
She did, in my opinion. I mean, I guess technically anything's possible.
So, I mean, did the interviews were they like, this doesn't really sound like...
Exactly. It's what all the psychiatrists said.
Okay.
We are seeing no signs of rape. We are seeing no signs of molestation.
Okay.
The biggest thing that seems to be a consensus was that Joe was overly rough, especially with Colby, because a man who's never had kids and grew up in foster care, he's not going to be able to deal with a 6, 7, 8-year-old boy and all that comes with them.
He might not have had the role models necessary
exactly
to raise a child the proper way.
You learn how to parent from your parents.
Yeah.
Some of us say, I'm going to parent exactly the opposite of what my parents did, but that's still learning from your parents.
Yeah.
And if you've never had any, like in foster care, you get a new set of parents every few years, every 6 months. There is no hallmark.
Right.
Okay. So in 2006, Lori gets married again. Now her name is Lori Cox Vallow Vallow.
Ravioli, cannoli. What's the last one?
Vallow.
Lori Vallow.
Yeah. Charles Vallow is from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yay, Charles from Lake Charles.
I figure this ticks a couple of boxes, a female and a Louisiana connection.
There you go.
All right. So Charles is super wealthy.
And she's hot.
And she's hot. And yes, he's about 15 years older than her.
I was going to say, are most of these guys, like the rich one, are they like older than her?
A little, but
this
not.
guy's 15.
This guy's like 15 years older than her. But these guys are hot.
Oh, okay.
They're fit.
Nice.
Charles in particular, I believe he played minor league baseball.
Okay.
Okay. And now he's a super rich financial guy. He's got his life insurance license, his securities license. I mean, he's
smart guy.
He's doing the thing.
Yeah.
So this is great for Lori, but it's bad for Joe Ryan.
Why is it bad for Joe.
Because Charles has money. That's more checks that can be written to a lawyer.
Oh, I'm thinking this shit was resolved by now. You said 12 years. I was just thinking
it just keeps going and going and going. Okay.
Ugh.
The accusations get worse and worse and more constant.
Chandler never marry a girl named Lori.
Got it.
Yeah. Introduce me to her. Because if she's a manipulative little...
You'll be able to see it.
I'm pretty dead gum. My daddy was married 11 times. I know what a manipulator looks like. I can clock those signs. Okay, so Tylee is constantly in counseling over, her relationship with her dad, the abuse. Those are the main topics. Lori and Charles move with Tylee 1,000 miles away from Austin to the Phoenix, Arizona area. Okay. I don't think Colby is in therapy during all this because even though Joe could legally have fought for custody of Colby because he adopted him.
Right.
He doesn't seem to have at all. I think that makes Joe a little bit of a shit to me. And
kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I also think that's why Colby's concept of what happened to him, because until you're 8, memories are kind of flashes.
Yeah.
After that, you can start getting a full stream of conscious memory set in. So if he didn't go to therapy and get these things kind of rooted out,
he might
have been stuck with whatever his mom
told him.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
And all the therapy is related to this custody battle. And so I really think that Colby's just screwed from that. In 2007, after a year of not seeing his daughter because of more accusations, Joe gets a chance to go see Tylee. It's in a supervised visitation area.
So sucky for him. He didn't
do anything.
Right.
There was never a moment of saying that he was physical with Tylee.
Yeah.
Ever. Nobody ever said he spanked her or anything. Not that he should have done it to Colby, but...
No, but I'm talking about the rape part.
The rape didn't happen.
The molestation or whatever she's trying to... That's horrible. And he's having to have supervised visits with her.
Mm-hmm. And he had been a year without seeing her. I want you to think about this. 2007, she was 5.
Yeah.
So from 4 to 5, he didn't get to see his daughter.
Yeah. I mean, she's not going to know who he is. She's going to be terrified because of all the things her mom's been saying.
Mm-hmm. And so Lori calls her big brother, Alex. She's so upset that this pedophile gets to see her daughter, that the court is forcing it. So Joe goes and meets Lori with Tylee at the visitation center.
Mm-hmm.
He has to let Lori and Tylee leave, I think 15 or 30 minutes or whatever, something ahead of him.
So he can't follow them.
So he can't follow them. He goes out, he's loading stuff in his trunk, and here comes Alex.
The brother.
Alex tases him in his balls.
What?
Yes.
Ball tasing.
Well, Joe didn't know it was a taser in his hand. He thought it was a gun. So he's going to run. He's getting tased. He falls down.
In the mall. Balls.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And there were witnesses to the attack. So Alex ends up getting arrested.
Well, that's good.
Now, Joe that evening started having chest pain. So he goes to the hospital. His chest was okay. He wasn't having a heart attack, but his wrist was broken in the fall. But he was so frazzled because, could you imagine the shock?
Yeah.
He didn't even realize he had broke his wrist.
Chandler, could you please tell us from a man's perspective what, on a level of 1 to 10, what would be tased in the balls?
Oh, like 11 or 12.
11 or 12?
Yeah.
Like worse than a flick?
Yeah.
Worse than a flick.
Yeah.
Don't the prongs go in?
I don't know how good this taser was.
Oh, okay.
I have tasers that are real tiny, and then I have tasers with prongs.
He might have actually physically had one of those type where you have to touch it.
Whatever it was looked like a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hurting me a little bit.
Yeah.
Hurting your penis?
Yeah, that's hurting me a little bit.
Good thing he already
So
had
he's
it.
so frazzled from getting tased in the balls, he didn't even know he has a broken wrist.
Yes, but his chest is hurting. I'm
Yes.
thinking the man's having a panic attack hours
Stressed
later.
out. Shit.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Alex a little bit. Over this thing, he gets to serve 90 days in jail.
Well, that doesn't seem like much, but
No, it seems like he should have been in there more, but I think this was his first offense.
okay.
Or at least in Arizona, it was his first offense because they're all living in Arizona now.
Yeah.
All right. His jobs, he's got quite the resume. He is a truck driver, hazmat.
Mm-hmm.
He's a masseuse, and he's a stand-up comic on the Phoenix comedy circuit. Obviously, that's pretty big. There's a lot of clubs in the area.
Busy man.
Yes. And, so after he gets out of jail, he adds jokes about tasing his brother-in-law
Okay.
to the act.
That could be kind of funny if you were watching it, because you would probably
But
not
I did
think
watch
it's
him
real.
and he sucked.
Oh, he's not good. Okay.
Yeah,
Womp
'cause
womp.
I told you that if I had one skill, I don't want to be the best singer, the best dancer. I don't want to be the most beautiful person. If I had the ability to be a comedian,
You would do it.
I would do it. Make 1,000 people happy, even if it's only for 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And so, I love stand-up comedy. I watch some of his bits.
Not that great.
He sucks. Like, I get more giggles standing with you and Harold and Dave chatting than I did watching his act. Okay, so, but he has an unusual thing he does for vacations.
What?
He goes down to South America for sex trips.
Sex trips.
And I was like, the first time I heard that, first time I read that, I was like, what in the heck? And then finally somebody got a little more in detail of what these sex trips were.
Did you goggle that? Because I would have had to goggle that.
I was scared to goggle sex trips.
Okay.
Okay.
Were you on your work computer or your home computer?
I was on my home computer.
You can
but
Google whatever
still.
you want on that. Yeah.
Yeah, until somebody comes and picks me up and wonders why I'm figuring out how to hide body. I am so fucked if the FBI comes to my house. And it's all of y'all's fault. It's me doing the research for y'all. Okay. So these trips, you go down, it's a convention. A bunch of doughy American men go down there. They hire a ton of women. And while he's down there, there's like one that'll be his interpreter to go view the city. And then he has sex with a different woman every night. And he kind of picks one.
So basically, the one that's assigned to him is the pimp. And she just takes him around to all the available ladies.
No, the ladies are at the convention. She's kind of his tour guide.
Wow. Okay. I thought she was helping make the connections.
And it's not just for hooking purposes. It seems like it's also for women to get out of the country.
Like
so
mail order bride type thing.
So it's shopping.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that disgusted me. And
trying on the merchandise.
It tracks with a guy who wanted to sleep with his sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So after all of this, Joe begins to drink more and more and more.
Poor Joe.
He's paying $1,500 a month to Lori, constantly has to go to court. And even if Lori's breaking court orders, okay, so she's breaking the law because
I'm being quiet.
You still have to pay a lawyer and pay court fees and wait for your time to go to court and say, hey, judge, she's breaking the order.
Yeah.
The judge will often give her time to not break the order.
She'll still do it.
And she'll still do it. And then you have to pay again. So even fighting this could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year on just going to court every 90 days to say she's not doing what you told her.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to empty my account, my retirement account, a few times in life so far. Okay, so there's constant accusations of abuse. He finally makes the decision to take a 40% pay cut and move to Phoenix because he was flying every other week to Phoenix from Austin, staying in a hotel, trying to see his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Half the time, Lori would not let him see his daughter after he did all this, and then flying back and then having to do the legal fees. So it was better for him to take the pay cut and move to Phoenix.
Plus, so if he took a pay cut, maybe he didn't have to pay her as much. Also, if she remarried someone
who's super freaking, that really doesn't, it rarely goes into it.
I know, but that doesn't. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, weirdly, the only place that works is somebody getting grants for college. Then the stepdad's income screws the kid over. Okay, so he gets there, and Lori moves Tylee to Hawaii.
Dang.
Yeah.
Does she just move Tylee, or do they all move?
They all move, but for his purpose, the only thing he cares about is Tylee.
Yeah.
Okay, he's about done. He's started to drink. He's starting to fall apart physically.
This is like when you literally start thinking about how can I kill someone?
Mm-hmm.
Like she has done every horrible thing imaginable.
And I've done everything I should do and can do to, like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's there for his kid. He's paid for the lawyers. He hasn't played dirty. Shoulda.
I don't know.
Okay, so meanwhile, Lori and Charles are living very well. Trips, the best schools for Tylee. In May of 2012, Kanan Trahan is born early and addicted in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Wait, what?
Little boy, Kanan Trahan.
Addicted to what?
I never checked.
So this isn't her kid.
This is not her kid.
Okay.
This is Charles's great nephew's child. Him and his girlfriend are both struggling with substance use. And once the hospital is able to stabilize Kanan, he went home to his grandmother. And although Larry Woodcock, his grandmother's Kay and his grandfather's Larry Woodcock, he has been called his grandfather throughout this, but I found out that's his step-grandfather. Okay. So Kay is Charles's sister.
All right.
Okay. That you're understanding why there's a family tree on the poster.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So all of the grandparents, other than Kanan's mother's mother, tried to get custody of Kanan.
All right.
So, dad's mom, dad's dad, and mom's dad all tried to get custody of this baby. So Larry and Kay won. Went home with them. They took care of him for a year, and the baby needed a lot of medical care, surgeries, things like this. Lori took it upon herself to help Larry and Kay. She would stay over at the hospital. She was just
There's
awesome.
a motive behind it. I can't wait to hear what it is.
And, she was always there, and she was always, she slept on the hospital floor and let Kay have the couch after Kanan's surgeries. That's just a gem of a human.
I know.
Well, after about a year, it was decided that Kay and Larry were too old to take care of a new baby. So Kanan becomes...
Was it decided by Kay and Larry, or was it decided by Lori?
I think Lori got in Kay and Larry's head. Because realistically...
Y'all got to let me handle this. It's too much for y'all.
Yeah. I'm so much younger than y'all.
Yeah.
I know that your brother is your same age, but...
Yeah. I don't... Okay.
Yeah.
So she took the baby.
They took the baby. So now Charles and Lori have their own baby. They rename him Joshua Vallow and call him JJ.
JJ. All right.
JJ is a bright, happy, loving kid. And he does have some problems related to his birth. And by the time he's aged up to school age, the biggest issue is autism.
Oh.
He goes to school. He interacts with his family. He reads. He writes. He does math. It's just a struggle. It's not. He is totally on grade level as far as his schoolwork. And there were some savant moments in his life where some things he is way advanced. So, we're not talking about somebody that you're having.
He could still lead a productive life when he gets older.
With enough therapy and the right education and the right parenting, he could be.
Lori can certainly provide for him.
Well, they've got enough money. And, she's got something. Okay.
She definitely has something.
Okay, so eventually Joe kind of gives up trying for Tylee.
I mean, at some point, you're
how's he
going to run
gonna
out of
get to
money.
Hawaii?
Yeah, you're going to run out of money.
Okay. But he's still stuck in Phoenix. They do go to Phoenix some.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Vallow clan. So now,
Yeah, because like, isn't a lot of her family over there still?
well, her family, I guess that they started all migrating to Phoenix because a lot of them ended up there. They started in California, so they end up in Arizona. I have a cousin that lives out there, and if you want to not be bothered, there are places in Arizona where you are not going to be bothered. Okay. Oh, and I kind of forgot to tell you that Mom and Dad have been in and out of the news because they refuse to pay their taxes.
Lori's mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, like Dad's done prison.
What?
Yes.
For not paying taxes?
He doesn't just not pay taxes. He writes books on why the IRS is evil and refuses to pay taxes on the millions he earns every year.
Okay.
Okay, so he's like major.
He cuckoo too.
Yeah. He's not just, I forgot to file.
Yeah.
He's not just.
He's like, I'm spitting in your face.
Yes.
Fuck you. I'm not paying my taxes.
Okay, so then we're going to move up. This is where things begin to get a little, we get into more of this timeline of everything evil that's about to happen. Though I think she's pretty freaking evil already.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you get your child to say, my daddy raped me.
Yeah. That's the lowest.
That is the lowest.
That is the absolute lowest.
Okay. So,
around what?
April of 18.
Okay, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we've jumped ahead quite a bit.
We've jumped ahead. Now, because here we are.
The kids are older now.
JJ's in school.
Okay,
he was born in 12, so he's in school now. He's a 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
April of 18, one of Joe Ryan's neighbors, identified as Roy Zelinga, came out of his apartment with his dog. The dog was scratching at Ryan's door. And before, whenever Zelinga went over there to get the dog, he smelled a strong odor.
I guess.
And saw flies inside the apartment. Investigators discovered Ryan's body on his bed in advanced stages of decomp.
Dang.
10 days later, PD contacted Lori as his next of kin.
Poor man never got over the whole thing.
No. She made the decision to have him cremated.
Convenient.
Okay, but like I said, at this point, she'd been living in Hawaii now for 2 years.
Okay.
So Joe had fought from 2007.
Yeah.
All the way up to 2016. He fought and fought and fought for Tylee. He finally kind of petered out whenever they moved away.
Yeah.
You can't keep fighting. Tylee's a teenager. At this point, it's better to just wait out till she turns 18 and try to reach out to her. Okay. They called it arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease. He had hardening of the arteries.
Is that really what happened? Or you can't tell me?
I don't know. And I'll tell you why we don't know.
Okay. I'll hold my horses.
Because Lori had his ass cremated.
Oh.
Lori, who was not next of kin, decided to have him cremated.
All right.
Eventually, his actual family finds out he's dead. He had next of kin.
I can't even believe that she didn't tell his family.
She did not. They call Lori.
She's a shit.
And she acts like she just found out herself.
Oh, my God.
Even though she's known for weeks. And they suspect, his family suspects, because they know what Joe's gone through all this time, suspect that Lori purposefully did not want them to find out until the cremation was done. Okay. His sister, Ann Cushing, sends Maricopa County a recording of some talk that Lori did to other LDS members.
Okay.
Your testimony isn't just about the day you got saved. Your testimony is about any time Christ has touched your life. And so she's giving her testimony about why she is so into the temple right now, why she is so LDS. And part of it says, I was going to murder him. I was going to kill him. Like the scriptures say, like Nephi, just to stop the pain, to stop him from coming after me and to stop him from coming after my children. And there appears to be a part of the Book of Mormon that says you can kill someone if they come at you 3 times. Okay, that's a little different than the New Testament. Okay, so she said that her hatred of Joe is why she started going to temple weekly to spend time praying. And Charles built her a room in the house for her. It was mirrored, and it was for her to dance in and commune with the spirits.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did she smoke weed in there too?
No, she can't even have coffee.
I mean, if you're Mormon-ish, and then all of a sudden,
I think now she's moved past
she's
out of
like
Mormon-ish.
all in Mormon.
So by this point, she's diving into everything spiritual. She started listening to podcasts and reading books about end times. And
Hey, Lori.
Eschatology, which is kind of that end times, that revelation study, it's very divisive. I mean, like everybody's got a different interpretation of how it is. And so there's a lot of material out there about how this is going to come out. And there's an element of the Mormon church that is very fixated on this. And she starts listening to this one guy and reading his books. His name's Chad Daybell. And she finally meets him at a PAP event. PAP stands for Preparing a People.
This is going down the Righteous Gemstones path for me. Have y'all watched the Righteous Gem? Look, y'all need to. It's very entertaining. Go ahead. Just recommend. I'm recommending it for you. It's very good.
Okay, then I'm gonna get into that one. Trust me, because I love these cult things.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so this Preparing a People was in Rexburg, Idaho. And this group is trying to set people up with things like getting a year of gluten-free food, learning how to cook outdoors, how to get potable water, even if you live in some place like Idaho or Colorado.
Doomsday preppers,
yeah,
kinda?
Total preppers.
Oh, total. Okay.
Yeah, with a religious bend. I mean, not just I'm looking around and I'm watching the world go crazy, so it's got to end. Okay. So Chad was happily married since 1990 to Tamara, known as Tammy Douglas. Of course, she became Daybell. And he is somewhat underemployed all this time. Like, he's got a lot of skill, but every time he gets a promotion offer, he kind of
loses money.
He turns it down.
Oh.
And so his kind of fallback is to be a cemetery sexton in their town in Idaho.
All right.
Okay. People got to be buried.
I know, but I can't imagine that pays too much.
Doesn't. But he always wanted to write. And so in 1999, he publishes his first book because God told him to be an author. Now, every time he turns down a job, God told him to turn down the job. And his wife just goes on with it.
She's very submissive.
And very sweet and very loving.
And what's his name again? Gary?
Chad.
Where did I get Gary?
Daybell. I don't know.
Okay, Chad. Don't be a Chad.
I wonder if a Gary is in the gemstone thing.
No.
Okay.
Jerry, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. By the way, it's not a documentary. It is a hilarious take on people getting way too involved in their religion.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so his niche is Mormon-friendly fiction. So fiction with a religious bend.
And no coffee in it.
No premarital sex.
Yeah.
Limited violence. Just...
lots of children.
Probably so.
All right.
Okay,
What did he write? Please tell me the name of this book.
I didn't even write it down
God
because
damn
they're
it.
all stupid. Like...
let's just make a name up.
My geeky friends in high school who were wrote better work than this guy did. I didn't buy them all, but I read some excerpts because I don't want any money going to him. So I didn't go and download any.
Right.
So I took some little, looked at screenshots on Reddit and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, he's 12.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He's writing like
he's writing crap.
He's writing like text message type with short K, and
it's just juvenile. There's no like depth in the emotion. There's no thought. I mean, when you tell a story,
there's no protagonist.
There's no protagonist. There's no, there's no like layers to how people, it's stupid.
Okay.
It's like Bob went to the store. Mary met him at the store. It's, okay.
We both went, All right, Chad.
All right. So he gets published and he keeps writing, and he starts his own publishing company too. And with 10 years, this kind of fizzles out. So he's got to go back to work at the cemetery in 2010.
And when is the people, what was it called? The
PAP meeting was in 2018.
The pap smear was in 2018.
Yeah, okay. I know. Why would you call? Look, these people have kids. You know, they are aware of gynecologists. That pap should be in their head for something else. Eventually,
we're going to the pap today. I don't know.
Eventually, he salvages the company.
The writing company?
Yeah. And get some more writers on board. And they're writing a lot, though. They've kind of switched to end times.
Preppers, okay.
So I don't know if you remember that in like more mainstream Christian, there was a lot of books about the end times back then.
No.
It's all about the tribulation and, you know, Jesus is coming back and the world's going to end. It just kind of got popular for a minute. So he starts claiming that he himself has had many near-death experiences and that the veil has been torn. And so he can see on both sides of the veil at the same time. And so he can commune with spirits.
Sounds like him and Lori got some shit in common.
I mean, at this point, this is a minute before they meet. We're talking 8 years. They hadn't even met yet. And they're both saying the same stupid
They're probably
crap.
talking to the same stupid spirits.
In 2013, he begins to...
That spirit won her the Wheel of Fortune. I'm just saying.
Did it tell her to get the boob job?
Of course.
Her husband's out in the hallway.
Yeah.
Lori. Lori, this is the spirit of whatever weird sounding name that she came up with today.
This is the big movie spirit.
You must have big boobies. You must.
Can you imagine? All right. Okay.
Okay. So he begins to publicly prophesy that the end of the world will occur. Okay.
I'm listening.
And in 2015, he heard a voice tell him to move to Roxburgh, Idaho. Now, that's where Lori meets him in 3 years.
Okay.
This is supposed to be where Jesus will come back.
In Idaho. Roxburgh?
Yeah, and his wife just moves with him. Now, realistically...
How did Jesus pick that spot?
I don't know. There's another group of Mormons that think he's going to land in Missouri.
Jesus likes potatoes. Idaho potatoes.
Well, if you read Revelation, he already told you exactly where it's going to be, and it's not over here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just saying. It's not on this side of the planet.
But these particular people think...
that he's going to go to Roxburgh,
I should
Idaho.
say this particular person.
And it becomes a these.
Yeah, of course.
So you're not too far off. And I mean, they're starting out in Utah. It's very much like we decided to move to Natchez or Little Rock or something like that. So it's not a huge move, but it's enough of a move to kind of piss his wife off.
Oh, she's actually growing a brain now.
Yeah. Well, I think she's always had one, but she's been like, okay, as long as we don't starve, do what you want to do, boo.
You do you, boo.
But now he's moving her away from her family and her support system.
Yeah.
And that's where she's like, what the heck?
Damn, I've done everything you wanted. I've even gone to that stupid PAP convention.
And she has been helping him this whole time with this.
She's supporting her husband.
And she's literally physically the backbone of the publishing company. He does all the sales stuff and markets and everything like that. But she does the books and plans the routing. And she is the publishing company.
Yeah.
So he packs up his wife, Tammy, and their 5 children, and they move. And then he meets Lori a couple of years later. And Lori seems to travel a lot. I could not put all the places they moved, all the trips they've taken on the show. I'd just be sitting here listing cities.
Yes.
Okay, so Lori and Chad strike up a friendship, and Chad claims that he and Lori have been married multiple times before, in multiple lifetimes, on multiple planets.
Okay. Just to clarify for the listeners, the two of them, Chad and Lori, who is not currently married.
No, she's still married to Charles,
they're to each other.
Not to each other.
Not married to each other, have been married to each other in past lives.
Mm-hmm. Many, many times.
Oh my God. Okay.
In many, many
out.
worlds.
That checks out.
That checks out.
Yeah. And at some point, Lori was even married to an angel
Named Lucifer.
Okay. Eventually, they begin to believe that they are the Davidic queen and king that will set up Christ's kingdom on earth after the apocalypse.
But they're just friends.
Well, they're starting to.
But we're just friends. Like,
they're
for
just,
real.
Yeah, he's just
King and
this
queen,
really
but we're just friends.
Meanwhile, Charles and Tammy are both wonderful spouses.
Supportive, doing everything,
Mhm.
blind to the little
And they
kissy
continue
that's
to
probably
be
going on behind the
good
scenes.
partners. Lori begins podcasting on a PAP podcast.
Mm,
Chad guests with her.
hell yeah.
Their first episode is Time to Warrior Up. Some of the people that are involved with this are Melanie Gibb, Zulema Pastoris.
Is that still out today? The PAP podcast?
I didn't check it out because, again, I don't want any money going to this shit.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to change my name to the Pap Smear podcast.
And so they're there whenever she meets Chad for the first time, and they're like, you're a little flirty.
Yeah.
Okay, this Melanie is not Stacy's daughter, Melanie. That's a different one.
All right.
Okay. Now, Stacy's daughter, Melanie, is married, so she is now Melanie Boudreaux.
Boudreaux and Thibodeau.
Yeah, in frickin' Arizona.
They got Boudreaux and Thibodeaux everywhere.
They do.
Sha.
But you know they're pretty. They got those green eyes and that dark hair.
Uh-huh.
Okay. These women, Chad and Alex, begin their new religious movement called the Church of the Firstborn. Chad is using an owl necklace to help prophesy. You ever played that wedding ring thing about what are you going to have?
What kind of baby?
Whether
Yes.
it's going to be a circle or
Yeah.
he does that with an owl. Same
Wow.
thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Ouija board on the side there.
They're extremely into reincarnation. Chad says he's lived 31 times. Lori's lived 25. And they begin rating people on a vibration scale of dark and light spirits. And they decide the end of the world will be July 22nd, 2020. Spoiler, we're still here.
Okay. Are we going to stop the story here?
Well,
Are we going?
let's just do one
Okay.
more thing.
All right.
I
I want to revisit that vibration thing for a second.
The reason why it's supposed to be okay for them to sleep with each other is because their current spouses aren't their real spouses, since they've been married so many times in the past. Now, we can revisit a few things.
Okay. I just want to know, what was the vibration thing you said again?
Whether they vibrate with dark spirits or light spirits, and there's a scale, and it seems that I think 4.3 is the highest on either end.
Were there batteries involved with the vibration testing or scaling or whatever?
I don't know, but maybe if somebody had some batteries and some vibration, they wouldn't have to be this crazy. I'm just saying.
Okay, y'all.
Now, did you have any questions?
Okay, do you have any questions, Chandler,
I
about
do not. This
that?
is wild.
This is wild, and we haven't even gotten into.
We're going to start the next episode by showing your
My poster board.
poster board. But y'all, we're going to end this one. And just a reminder, we are going to release part 2 at the same time as part 1 comes out to Patreon members. So if you would like to become a Patreon member so you can get part 2 right away, go to Patreon/Grits, Patreon/Grits. You're also helping to support the show. And I think that when we get off this 2-parter, I'm going to buy what one of the listeners told me to buy for gnats because they're running around here like crazy today. Also, go to YouTube and subscribe. Go to TikTok. Go to Facebook. We're on all the things. Follow us, subscribe. It helps us out. Anything else?
I think that is all.
All right. Thank you, Chandler, for camera switching.
Yep.
All right. Tell your mom and them to listen. And we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.